Welcome to your Daily 5 for Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. I came across a rare piece of good news in terms of streaming series and the support from the studios or the networks behind them, and that was about the Apple TV series Silo, which I had read Monday, Tuesday, I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but I had read that Apple had committed to a third and fourth season of the show, with the fourth season serving as the finale. So that will be the end of the series. It will run 4 seasons. And I have heard, I'll admit, I know it's Silo is based on, I think, a series of books. I've never read any of the books. I haven't watched the series, but I had heard and read many good things about it. But as I've talked about before, I am reluctant to start a series unless I really know it's going to get an ending. I mean, it's just, there's no guarantees. And so many times we've seen good series like Open Range that got canceled, and I don't think that had an ending to it. Many other examples in recent memory, and Apple's been no different. They've canceled things as well. But this is, in an ideal world, in a perfect world, the way that a series would be made is that the creators would have their story idea, beginning, middle, and end. They would go to whoever and say, here's our story. Here's how many seasons we need to tell it, and there would be an agreement that they would get that amount of series to tell that story and not try to drag it out past that and not get canceled beforehand. Because honestly, that's what ends up really killing series. Either they don't get the chance to tell their story, where they're canceled prematurely, or, as has happened more than a few times, a network sees success and says, well, let's just keep it going. Just keep dragging it out. Keep dragging it out. We'll go until it's not popular anymore, and then we'll come up with an ending. And then you have a series that is unfairly remembered because, honestly, it ran longer than it should have. So the ideal version is that both sides agree on the seasons and they come up with that, and they have that confidence going in to be able to tell the story, not with unlimited resources, but within the appropriate time frame. The second best option, which is still, sadly, not something we see often, but it's this, where, okay, they do the first couple seasons, there's a lot of positive reception, they see that there's some quality involved, and they say, all right, here's how much time you have left to tell your story. And it's not just, 2 episodes or something like Farscape with the Peacekeeper Wars, where they clearly had to condense a lot of story down to a, 90-minute movie or so. But instead, it's like, okay, you have 2 seasons. Now you know what your runway is. You know where the end point is. So you can cut out the filler that you don't need, and you can make sure that you tell the important parts of the story that you do need. That's pretty great. And again, it's not something we get very much. We either have it where, this is less and less common, but the idea that series run for too long, What We Do in the Shadows is right on the borderline of that. Unfortunately, that's now ending in its current season, which I think is good, because there were certainly some, while the show is excellent overall, you could definitely find episodes that were lesser. And some people think that, I think season 4 or 5, I don't remember which one, most people don't seem to think is all that good. I don't think any of them are bad. But that is an example of, okay, you have these great people involved. You have a dynamite show, but it probably should have ended at season 5. That's okay. It is ending. And from what I've read, the new season is very good. I haven't watched it yet. But that's the other danger, is that you just push something too far. And unfortunately, ideas are finite. There's certain concepts are not made to run forever. And so you just see that a lot of shows kind of peter out. And so you have this early part or a middle part that's great, and then it just kind of dies off. So this is actually, I think, pretty ideal, or as close to ideal as you could reasonably expect in the world that we live in. So I'm very happy about this because now I want to watch it. I will probably wait just to make sure it doesn't Game of Thrones the finale or anything like that. But this makes me much more happy gives me much more anticipation to actually watch this show, because I've read so many good things. And the one piece that was kind of a holdoff for me was, well, is it going to get an ending? Well, now it is. And so I'll wait. It's only 2 more seasons. Wait till it ends. And barring any tremendous torpedoing of an ending, then I will be very excited to sit down and watch this thing. So again, we see so many negative stories, and I've talked about them before. It's crafted my entire policy towards most streaming services, which is don't bother starting it until you know they end it, and end it properly. So I do like the fact that this appears to be a case where everybody involved recognizes that there's a quality here. They want to give it the appropriate amount of time, and they want to tell the story within the time that it needs, as opposed to just either running it too long or taking the legs out from under it before it finishes. So this is about as perfect a scenario as you could get. So I look forward to watching Silo sometime in the near future. Later.